Hey guys, so I'm gonna teach you a strategy called partial quotients. It's used as a division strategy, and it's sort of one step in the direction of long division before we get there. So it's very similar to what your parents learned in school called long division, but it's I think it's a little bit easier to understand when you're starting to learn how to divide. So if you look at my problem, I read it as 5,326 divided by 7. So you read the number, what I call kind of in the house, in the little lines there first, and then you divide it by the number outside of the house. The number inside is called the dividend, and the number outside the house, that's 7, is called the divisor. What I like to do is first extend this line going down the side like that, because I'm going to show some work over on the right side. The first thing I want to ask myself is, what can I multiply 7 by? So what can I multiply by my divisor to take away a big chunk from that dividend, the bigger number? So I have to use multiplication facts that I know to take away a big chunk. For example, I know that 7 times 7 is 49. So if 7 times 7 is 49, I know that 7 times 700 would be 4,900, kind of using that zeros trick that we've talked about in multiplication. So I take the 2 zeros from the 700, add those onto the 49 to get 4,900. My next step is to draw a little arrow and to subtract that product, the 4,900, away from my big number. Make sure that you pay careful attention in lining up your place values. You can see that my ones are lined up, my tens are lined up, my hundreds and my thousands are all lined up. From here, you can sort of use many different strategies to do your subtraction. You could use a standard algorithm to subtract, or you could do some mental math as well. I know that from 4,900 to 5,000 would be 100, and then plus the 326, so that would be 426. Next, I want to ask myself again, what can I multiply 7 by to take a big chunk away from what I have left? So in this case, the 426. I know that 7 times 5 is 35. So 7 times 50 would give me 350. I'm going to draw my arrow down and subtract away the 350. Again, I'm going to use my strategy that I did before. I know from 350 to 400 would be 50, and then from 400 to 26 is 26, so 50 plus 26 is 76. From here, again, I'm going to ask myself that same question. What can I multiply by 7 to take a big chunk away from what's remaining? I know 7 times 10 is 70. So I can take that chunk away. And then I'm left with 6. Now, how do I figure out what my answer is? I'm going to add up my partial products. My partial quotients. So all those numbers that I multiplied by 7. So 700 plus 50 plus 10 would be 760. And I'm going to write that right above, right here. And then in this problem, I do have a remainder because there were 6 left over. I can't fit another 7 into 6, so that 6 becomes my remainder, and I can write R6 to stand for remainder of 6. So again, I found that by adding up those partial quotients, 700, 50, and 10 to get 760 with a remainder of 6.